All right, so that's gone live. Excellent. All right. Here comes Liz. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen with you. Excellent. All right. Let's just mute this sound over here. Here comes Liz. All right, so I'm just going to share my... There we go. All righty. So, hey, Facebook. All right. So, let me share my screen here. So, I'd love to know where you guys are from. So, if you can pop it in the comment section for me, I'd love to see where you're all tuning in from around the world. Okay. So welcome to this 3-day little mini program webinar that I'm running. So I've run this once before, and the intention of this is really just to give you guys a deeper understanding to why it's so important to heal your inner child and the different things that you can do to begin to navigate your way through that, right? So let's just dive straight into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is your mindset, okay? So there's a lot of different things that we can do. Like there's a lot of different healings you can do, and you can go learn all these different courses, and you can learn how to communicate, and you can learn how to be a really empowered adult. But unless your mindset is in the right place, it's going to be really hard for you to have consistent and long-lasting change. Okay, so we're going to go a bit deeper into that. But when I talk about mindset, I'm talking about the state of your mind, okay, and what your dominant thoughts are throughout the day, okay? So I want you to imagine that this is you, this vehicle here is all of who you are, okay? And inside of the vehicle, we have a driver and we have a passenger. Now, the driver in the vehicle, that's your unconscious mind, okay? That is the part of you that drives you through life. It doesn't judge you, doesn't criticize you. It just listens to where you want to go, and it literally takes you there, okay? So whatever you're thinking about constantly, for example, if you think that you are going to succeed, yeah, if you say you're like, I'm going to do that thing over there, I want that job, and I'm going to get that job, and I'm going to succeed at getting that job, your unconscious mind is just going to be like, oh, okay, is that where you want to go? All right, I'm going to drive you towards that experience, and I'm going to do everything I can to get you there. Okay. And then if you start thinking, oh, but I'm not good enough for that job, and how am I going to get it? And I'm not going to get it. And look at them, they're going to go for it and they're going to get it. Then your unconscious mind, your driver, is going to go, okay, we're going to change directions, and we're going to go over there where you don't get it. So this is how powerful your mind is. Okay. So, like I said before, the unconscious mind is literally driving. It's not really looking at where it's going. It's just really listening to everything that you're saying. So if you think for a moment about the thoughts that you have about yourself on a daily basis, let's think about one negative thought you have about yourself on a daily basis, right? And how that one negative thought gets proven right to you over and over again. Does it get proven right to you over and over again based on your daily experiences? Yeah, I've got some heads nodding here. Yeah. And so that's what happens, right? That's what happens when we think about something. If we think about ourselves in a certain way, then the unconscious mind is going to take you there, right? So this is why it's really important to find a way to think those really, really positive thoughts, because your unconscious mind will take you there. Okay, and that can be really hard to do if you've been conditioned and programmed for such a long time to beat yourself up. So the conscious mind, This is the mind that you're here, sitting here with me right now, listening to this webinar. Okay. And you have a choice right now to have a positive mind or a negative mind. Okay. So let's say you decide in this moment right now that you're going to have a more positive mind. You're like, you know what? I'm going to have a positive mind moving forward. This all makes sense to me. I want to be more positive. I want to raise my vibration. I want to head towards more beautiful experiences in my life. Then you're making a conscious choice to do that. Okay, so it is a choice. But then the hard bit, that's not the hard bit. The hard bit then comes later, which is to consistently choose to be in a positive state. Okay, and if you've had 20, 30, 40, 50 years of conditioning where you have thought negative patterns and thoughts over and over again, then we have to find a way to reprogram you, right? So essentially you are a computer. Just like you're that vehicle, you're also a computer. So in the morning when you wake up, the operating system starts and you have a whole bunch of programs that just start running. Yeah, whether you're aware of it or not, you might have a victim mentality program. You might have a lack of self-worth program. Yeah, you may have a I'm a kind of person program where you go out and you do beautiful things in the world and you help people. So there could be a whole bunch of programs. And our job is to become aware of what those programs are so we can change them. So everyone with me so far? Okay. All right, so let's have a look at this image here, right? So here we have your higher self, which is what we're all trying to constantly step into our higher self. We're all constantly trying to be the best version of ourselves, whether you realize it or not. Yeah, whether you are depressed and you've suffered with depression your whole life, we're all constantly striving to be a better version of ourselves. So the powerful part comes when you become really, really conscious of it and you start moving towards it, because that's when you become unstoppable. So here we're kind of flying around in, intuition, love and joy, and being the observer, where we don't react to life anymore. We just respond to it and we observe, and we're like, oh, that's interesting. I used to react to that. I used to get really angry at those types of situations. And now I'm just noticing them. Look at how far I've come, right? So that's where we're kind of all wanting to be, right? And here we have our conscious mind. This is where we take decisive action to create change, to move towards what we want, right? This is where we start focusing on our goals and using our logical mind to analyze situations. This is where we really have moved beyond allowing our emotions to override our logical mind. Yeah? This is where we make plans. We choose what kind of behavior we want to step into. We tap into our willpower in a new way, right? That no matter what happens, no matter in which way life goes, we keep moving towards here. This is where we keep moving towards, no matter what. We're no longer in victim mentality here. We're just like, oh, I just broke my leg. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to let that slow me down. Okay? Making sense? Yeah? Okay. So, and here, just under the surface, right, where we're moving towards the unconscious, some might call this part the subconscious, right? Here we have a whole bunch of things that go on that we may or may not be aware of. Okay, so we have our emotions sitting just under the surface there. We have our values, right? Our values and the things maybe that we're really opinionated about and the things we strongly believe. And those things just kind of sit just under the surface. And sometimes they may fire us up. Right? They might make us really passionate, right? Yeah, Brenda's nodding. They might make us respond or react in really passionate ways. And then we have our childhood beliefs. So our childhood beliefs are what we created between the ages of 0 and 6. And then they're based on the things we see adults do and the things we hear adults say. Okay, so when we come into the world, we don't have the rule book. We don't even know what to expect. So we look to adults as if they're gods and we learn how to behave based on them. That's why we hear people say, oh, you're just like your mother, or your father used to do that, or da, 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 right? It's because whether we realize it or not, these are the core programs that have been installed in us from a really early age. And so a big key to long-lasting transformation in your adult life is tapping into those childhood beliefs and changing them. Yeah. And those pillars, those beliefs are like create the platform that you stand on as an adult. And they can be really confronting to become aware of. Yeah, they can actually make you feel when those beliefs collapse. And Chris, I know you've experienced this. It can seem as though the rug has been pulled from under you. Yeah, because what happens is you will collapse, but you will have a beautiful opportunity to rebuild yourself in a really, really empowered way, right? And so this is where you need support healing your inner child. You need support tapping into those childhood beliefs. So let's just have a look at what surround the childhood beliefs. You know, as we've gone on, as we've moved through life, you know, we've created personal beliefs and cultural beliefs, and, you know, we've created our identity, you know, how we want to show up in the world, and what we want to, how we want to change the world and what we represent. You know, we then have our habits. Our fears are huge, and our fears often hold us back. They anchor us down into the past or the present moment, so we can't move forward, right? Yeah, we, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch. We resist change. Yeah, we judge. So there's a whole bunch of things that happen here. And then right underneath in the unconscious is the deeper stuff. Is the trauma that we carry. Yeah, is the shame and the guilt and the secrets of the shadow. You know those parts of ourselves that we don't want to show people. Yeah, because we're embarrassed or we're ashamed. And we think, oh, if they knew how angry I really was, they wouldn't say that I'm such a nice person for helping them. That part, that's the stuff that we kind of push and push and push as far down as we can. Even, you know, there's a violent side to us, or an angry, really angry side to us. And that often comes from some deep wounds. Yeah. And the more aggressive and angry you see people behave, it just means the deeper their pain, the deeper the pain that they carry within them. Yeah. They're really not bad people. I believe underneath all of the defense mechanisms and the aggression and the anger are good, kind-hearted people that were just interfered with and manipulated when they were little and experienced really, really severe trauma, right? But the good news is that you, as the adult, have the ability to change all of it. Yeah, you can heal from it with the right support. You can heal from it. You will heal from it, and you can create the life that you desire. Okay. So any questions here before I go on? No? Okay, any comments? So I'm just having a look at the comments here. Nicholas is tuning in from Florida and Brenda from Alaska. Beautiful. Okay, so this may stir up some emotions in you. That's okay, right? If it is stirring up emotions and you're feeling things like shame or guilt or regret or sadness, that's okay. It means that the healing has already begun for you. Yeah. And that when these emotions come up, it's a really beautiful opportunity for you to kind of like say to yourself, oh, you know, I survived all that. And here I am. I'm still here. And I'm still willing to get on with life. And I want to change my life, right? So show yourself compassion. So there's some things that you can do, right? There's some things that you can do to set up your mindset in a really positive way first thing in the morning. Okay. So just like how you would get up and you'd have your shower, I encourage you to think about setting up your mind in a beautiful way first thing in the morning. Okay. So something that's really powerful is an affirmation track, like a really positive affirmation track. And that affirmation track, when you listen to it first thing in the morning, it acts like a program, like you're installing a program into your mind and you're telling the unconscious mind exactly what kind of day you want to have. Yeah. And I created a affirmation track that I've had on YouTube for a few years. So I'll send you guys the link to that. And you listen to it every morning and you commit to doing that every morning. And if you do that for 90 days, you'll begin to notice a significant change throughout your day, throughout your life, right? You will feel more positive. You won't allow things to affect you so much throughout the day. And if shitty things happen, you'll bounce back from them really quickly. Yeah. So it's almost like you have to think of your mindset like a muscle that you're going to work out at the gym. You're not just going to do it once and it's going to be fixed, right? You're going to have to consistently work that muscle to make it really, really strong and solid and unshakable, right? So some of my clients have been doing this affirmation track for years and they keep doing it, right? Because we've got to think, how many years of programming have we got to reverse? 20, 30, 40, 50? Yeah. So something you have to commit to every day if you want long-lasting change. Yeah. I've committed to it too. Yeah. So I am statements, really positive I am statements. So think about, well, okay, who's the person that I want to become? How do I want to be? Do I want to be more confident? Do I want to be more open-hearted? Because I've noticed I'm actually quite defensive and I'm blocking myself to allowing love in. Yeah. So then you put that after the word I am and you say, I am open-hearted. I am unshakable confidence. I am kind. And you do that every day. Stand in front of the mirror and you do that every day. And you look at yourself in the mirror as if you're trying to convince someone else that they are those things, right? And again, you do this every day. And there's going to be days when you wake up and you're like, I feel crap and I don't want to do this and this is shit and it doesn't work, right? And that's just the resistance, right? Whenever we're trying to create change, there's always that resistant part of us that steps in and go, what are you doing? You idiot, don't do that. It's not going to work. What's wrong with you, right? And that's where we have to just override that and keep going, right? So another great thing you can do is a gratitude rampage. So what I mean by that is right now where you are, just look around the room and I just want you to notice something that you're grateful for. Right? So I'll give you an example. I looked straight at my salt lamp. I've got this huge Himalayan salt lamp that my friend bought over out of nowhere. He's like, I've got this for you. Right? And all my other ones are like little and this one's huge. Right? And so every time I turn it on, I just think about how grateful I am for that lamp. Okay. And then my little backyard, my tiny little courtyard has these beautiful purple flowers. So I'm really grateful for the view that I have when I'm sitting here connecting with you guys. Yeah. And so I can just look around the room and that's what I want you to do right now. Just have a look around your room and just notice the things that you have in your room that you're grateful for. Maybe it's your computer that you're using to connect with me right now. Yeah. What are you noticing as you're doing this? Some of you are smiling. Oh, Chris has got his dog. Yep. Yeah, beautiful, right? So it changes your state. Gratitude is a game changer. Yeah. So let's say you're in a bad mood, something's happened and it hasn't gone your way and you're off, you go for a walk. As you're walking, you could literally begin a gratitude rampage on your walk for everything that is before you. So the first thing I do is I look at the concrete and I'm like, I'm so grateful for the men that lay down this concrete 40, 50, 60, however many years ago, so that I could walk on it with ease. And then I'll go to my shoes. I'm so grateful for these shoes that I have. And this beautiful flower that I've just walked past. And the sun that's shining, right? And the air that I can breathe. And my ability to move my body so freely and effortlessly, and my heart that's beating. And you do a gratitude rampage like this, and it's all those little, tiny little things, yeah, that we ignore. My ability to smile, the fact that I can see with my eyes. So those little things that we forget about that can get us into this really beautiful, positive state like that. Yeah. So that's a gratitude rampage. You can meditate. Meditating is really, really powerful. It helps you Tap into your higher self. It helps you access your spiritual gifts. It helps quieten down that chaos that can go on and on and on in the mind constantly. Okay? Music, listening to inspiring, positive, uplifting music is also really good. Dancing, anything that's going to help you tap into, like, when you get silly, like you're in a child, when you tap into your inner child, anything's going to help you tap in like that, raise your vibration and make you feel good, is going to help release endorphins, like exercise as well, going for a run or a walk, and breath work as well. Now, all of this stuff doesn't cost a thing. Yeah, so there's no excuse not to do it. So if you want to change, this is where you have to go, okay, I'm going to pick one of those and I'm going to start with one of those. And I'm going to commit to that. Now, if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to get addicted to feeling good. And that's what we want. We want you to get addicted to feeling good. Because at the moment, and unconsciously, a lot of us are addicted to feeling bad. We're addicted to negative emotions because they release addictive chemicals in the body too. So if we've been addicted to that chemical release of negative emotions for 20, 30, 40 years, when you stop doing that, it's like you're withdrawing from a drug addiction. That's what it feels like. So we have to create a new, I don't really like the word addiction, but for now, let's create a new addiction, a positive one that shows us that, we can feel good just by doing this one little thing. And I always suggest you start small, something achievable. Because if you can achieve that, what you're going to do is be like, yes, I did it. I did it for 1 day. Yes, I did it for 7 days. Yes, I did it. Oh my God, it's been 2 weeks and I've done it. You're going to start to pump yourself up. You're going to start to feel really good, right? And then you're going to be like, I want to do more now. I think I can bring in a second thing into my day. Yeah? Excuse me, blowing my nose. Okay. So I want you to just think about right now, what is one belief that is holding you back in your life right now? So just take a moment and have a think about what that one belief is that's holding you back. I'm just going to have a look on Facebook and see if there's any questions while you guys are thinking about that. So I've got Rachel. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Julie. So Jennifer's asking, how do we figure out what's causing the anger? Okay. So Jennifer, let's say you get triggered. So this is it can be hard to do it later. So after the fact, right? So let's say you get triggered and you start to get really, really angry. What I always suggest, if it's someone that's triggered you and you're like, you feel your blood starting to boil, right? What I suggest that you do is that you stop and you remove yourself from that situation and you go into, okay, why am I so triggered right now? What's going on for me? Ask yourself. And then as you go within and you think about it, what's going to happen is you're going to start to get some ideas and some answers. And your body's going to show you, or your mind's going to show you some images from the past. As you question yourself, you will get answers. And so you'll say, things you can ask yourself is, why am I so angry? What does this remind me of? Am I really angry at that person? Or have they triggered something deep within me? Is it their tone of voice? Does their tone of voice remind me of the way my dad used to yell at me when I was 6 for no reason? And it's just triggered, and it's triggered all this anger within me, because often that's what it is. Often it's not about the current situation. It's about something from a long, long time ago. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. And the more you do that, the more you will find out what your anger is all about. And you may find that it might be a pocket. There may be pockets of anger that are made up of different things. It may be from the way your dad used to talk to you, but then the way your ex-husband, used to talk to you when you were married, and the way nobody listens to you, and the way you're disregarded every time you try to use your voice. And then you start to understand your anger a bit better. And when you start to understand it better, that's when you can start to clear it, heal your old wounds, and then also you can find a way to not react and rather respond and ask the person questions, or actually share with them, I've noticed that sometimes when you speak to me, I get really triggered, and I think it's your tone. And I know that you don't mean to speak to me with tone, but it does trigger my old childhood trauma. And I just wanted to share that with you, just in case you notice me firing up a bit. It's because of my childhood trauma. And so this is how you show up in a really mature way in your adult relationships, where you can communicate what's going on for you instead of attacking and yelling and creating chaos in your life. Yeah? Does that make sense to everyone? So, and you know what? It all comes back to understanding yourself better, becoming really self-aware, so that you can show up in your adult relationships in an empowered way and communicate that. So Brenda's saying, I have this deep sense of loyalty to take care of my sick and elderly mother. So is this what's holding you back at the moment, Brenda? Yeah, it's holding you back. Yeah, okay. So
using it as an excuse.
What's that?
I feel like I'm using it as an excuse.
For you to like create transformation?
To stay in this dark hole I'm sitting in.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with us. So often, and I wonder, there may be sometimes when we do that, we become this caring person, and we put ourselves second, and we put somebody else before us. Often it's a good excuse for us not to come out of the hole and create the transformation that we want, right? It's a good way to avoid it by nurturing other people. So, you can go deeper into that, and you can question yourself, okay, well, how am I going to begin to take care of myself? How can I, and if it's really important for you to continue to take care of her, how can I start taking care of me while I'm still taking care of her? Yeah, why aren't I important enough to put myself first? Is that how I've been conditioned? Have I been conditioned to believe that I have to put others first? Yeah, and Brenda, I don't know your story, but often when we do that, and we, become like these people pleasers, it's often because we want to avoid confrontation. We want to avoid being attacked, yelled at, judged, criticized, belittled, shamed. And that comes from a deep sense of not feeling good enough as a child. Yeah, so there's a lot in that. So thank you for sharing that with us, Brenda, and I hope that I've given you a bit of guidance there. Any other questions before we go on? No? Okay. All right, cool. So I'm going to introduce to you guys my Healing Little You recovery program. So this is the Path of the Warrior. This is my program that starts in a week's time. So on a Saturday, exactly the same time that this webinar started. So if you would like to stay on and hear about the program, please do. If this is where you leave us and you're not interested in the program, that's okay. I know that, these types of programs are not for everyone. But if you are leaving now and you have got something out of this webinar, you can come and follow me on YouTube, Anthea Spark on YouTube, or Instagram or Facebook. And I hope that you got something valuable out of today. I really do. I've also got a closed Facebook group called Healing Little You, where I help people heal their inner child. So if you're not a part of that and you feel the pull, come and join that too. But now I'm going to go into this program. And for those of you who are serious about transformation, I hope that you do consider this program, because I've been designing it over the last 5 years, and I've run this program twice now. So this will be the third time that I run it. And it's a really beautiful program, and it helps people create long-lasting change. So this is what you get in the program. You get 16 one-hour group sessions. So the program runs over 16 weeks, and it starts in a week. And the reason why I started in November and I finish it in February is because this is when If you have childhood trauma, this is when your inner child begins to become triggered, leading up to Christmas. Okay, this is when I start to get really, really busy in my work. And I have a lot of people coming to me because it's really, the inner child's really activated during this time. So you'll get guided activations, which are meditations to help you connect to your inner child. I've created a unique affirmation track to support you to make long-lasting change during the 16 weeks. You get a workbook. You join a supportive and intimate group of people who are also on this journey. So what I found really powerful, guys, is that, yes, people come to me for one-on-one sessions and I can really help them in those private sessions. But what I found that is when a group of people come together, all with the same intention to heal their inner child, it creates this magnetic and magical energy, because you all are there to support each other. And something that's really powerful of what we do is I get you guys to practice how to communicate with each other. I get you guys practicing being vulnerable, practicing setting boundaries and using your voice. And you do that in the private breakout rooms. And it's in those private breakout rooms where a lot of the magic happens, because you guys supporting each other through your pain and through your transformation is a really powerful thing. Yes, I'm there to help you too. But when you come together in that way, it's that community feel of we're going to do it together. Often people haven't experienced that. Often people with severe childhood trauma detach from sharing and being a part of a community. So that in itself is really, really powerful, right? So we have a closed Facebook group that all of the recordings go into. So all of the sessions are recorded. They get uploaded into the group, and you can watch them in your own time. So I know 16 weeks is a long time. You may not be able to come to all the sessions, but they're there for you to watch whenever you are ready to watch them, so you don't miss out. And you get to keep those videos forever, right? We do a lot of burning rituals. So I take you through a lot of my emotional detox challenges where you can release things like anger and guilt and judgment. And they're really good to do because they kind of give you this really super, super boosted mini transformation in a really quick and short time frame. So you will have a deeper connection with yourself. That's what this is all about. Everything you do on this journey should help you fall in love deeper with yourself. Yeah, so that you can be your best version. And when you create that deeper version with yourself and you start to actually love and accept yourself, that's when your life becomes easier. That's when you start moving through this life and those, your emotions aren't overriding you anymore. So here's some of the topics that we cover, okay? And I won't go through all of them in great detail, but I'll just read them out to you. So like I said, that one of the most important things is your mindset, right? So we work on improving your mindset. We work on reconnecting you to your inner child, because yes, your inner child may have experienced severe trauma, and where we will heal that trauma, right? And we will work for you to understand your wounds. There's also your childlike essence. Yeah, there's a little girl and a little boy in all of you. And when we tap into that childlike essence, it does make our lives a lot easier. We become more curious and excited and not so rigid and serious like the adults become, right? We'll work on self-love, diffusing your triggers, how to use your voice in a really powerful way. Yeah, removing your need for validation from the external world. So often a lot of us seek validation from people outside of us, and it gets us into a lot of trouble. And it's really important to learn how to validate yourself. I will help you learn how to express yourself, and not just through your voice, but through your work and your gifts and your passions and your friendships. So it's really important to be able to do that in all areas of your life. I will teach you about empowering communication. Yeah, how to, use non-offensive language and express yourself and be able to communicate so you can have healthy adult relationships. So we will work on welcoming self-forgiveness and self-acceptance, which are two really powerful things if you want to move forward. Yeah, you do have to find a way to forgive yourself. You may not be able to forgive others, but when you forgive yourself, it changes everything. We will work on releasing anger, shame, and guilt. Now, these three emotions not only anchor you down in a really heavy way physically and energetically, they're also really toxic to the body. So they create illness and disease. So it's really important for us to release them. We'll work on deprogramming your childhood beliefs and installing new ones. We'll work on positive self-talk, really pumping yourself up and becoming, like a cheerleader for yourself. And we'll also work on removing suspicion, because when we have childhood trauma, we don't trust people. And it's really hard for us to move forward in life and have healthy relationships if we don't trust others. Yeah. And that comes from this suspicious archetype of like, what do they want? Kind people come in to show us love and we're like, what does he want? What does she want? So it's really important we find a way to release that. Okay. So that's the program. Like I said, everything's recorded and uploaded into the group. The program starts next week at the same time as it started today. And the normal price for this, like if you were to come and do one-on-one coaching with me, right, you'd be looking at paying about $1,599 for the 16 weeks. Okay. So I've got a special offer here, and I've got it ends the 25th of October, but I've got it for the next 4 days. The offer is at $799. Okay. So if you are really keen to do this program and you'd like to do it, I also have a payment option where you can pay it over 6 weeks. Yeah. And if that's even too difficult for you to do, but you really, really want to do it, just message me and we can figure something out. Okay. So I'm really all about making things work, for really helping people make things work for them, but you have to be committed, right? If you're committed to you, I'll be committed to you too. And I will help you. I'll do everything I can to help you. And today, the first person who books today, I'm gifting you a 1-hour private coaching session to really help you get kickstarted. And that's valued at 140 USD. Okay, so it's like I said, it starts on the 6th of November at 9 a.m. Melbourne, Australia time via Zoom. So what I'll do is I'll pop the link to the program. Let me just stop sharing that. I'll pop the link to the program in the chat here and I will answer your questions now. So just give me a second to do that. Okay. So if you're ready to jump in, this is the link for the program. It also has the payment options in there, the 6-week payment options in there. And I'll have a look at the questions here. Okay, so Nicholas is saying, I'd like to be in the program, but my schedule is very hectic and the group sessions would be hard to schedule. Okay, please follow up with an email. Yep, do you want to just, Nicholas, can you just pop your email in here for me? Pop your email in there. And I get it. I get that your life can be very hectic and that the group sessions would be really hard to do. But if it is something that you do want to do and you want to have a chat about it, we can connect. I can give you a call via Messenger and we can chat about it further. And, maybe it isn't the right time for you to do the program, or maybe there is a way for you to find time in your busy schedule to schedule it in, right? We'll see what happens. Chris is saying my birthday is in November and I always have bouts with depression. Yeah, so it's really common, right? It's really common because any time there is like a special occasion, like a birthday, Christmas, any time where there should be, you should have like this happy experience with your family or family dynamics where you should be made to feel special and loved and honored, it can ignite those feelings of depression. Because you might not even be comfortable being the center of attention, right? Even though bye Nicholas, thank you for being here. Even though you may have always wanted it, you may not even feel comfortable being the center of attention, right? May want you to make you want to run away. And so, ask yourself, like when people do really special things for me and they do make me feel really special, how do I react to that? Am I comfortable with it? Or do I try to like move it along, hurry it up, finish it up, right? Does that answer your question? or not that you asked a question, but you just shared, but does that? Okay. All right, let me just have a quick look on Facebook and see if there's any questions here. And then we'll wrap up. Okay. Awesome. So there's no other questions. All right, so we will leave it there. I will stop the recording. Just stop this. Oops.